It was 2:07 a.m. when I woke up to the sound of the front door creaking open. At first, I thought I was dreaming, maybe the wind or the cat. But then I heard it clearly, the faint jingle of her keys, the soft shuffle of heels against the tile floor, and a whisper that sliced through the silence like a blade. "He won't notice." Her voice. My wife's voice. Then a man's low chuckle answered, "You sure about that?" My chest went cold. My mind froze between disbelief and denial. For a moment, I told myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe she was on a call, maybe she was helping someone home. Anything but what my gut already knew. We'd been married 8 years. She was supposed to be at a team dinner, one of those company nights that kept getting later and later. I'd stopped questioning it months ago. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. I slipped quietly from bed, heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The hallway was dark except for a slice of moonlight cutting across the floor. I moved silently toward the living room, careful not to let the old wood creak beneath my feet. Then I saw them. She stood just inside the doorway, whispering and laughing softly. A tall man in a suit, her coworker, the one she said always drove her crazy at work, was beside her, his hand brushing her arm. They didn't see me. Not yet. She turned toward him, still whispering, "Just a few minutes. He's a heavy sleeper." That was it. The sound of those words shattered whatever illusions I had left. I stepped into the light. "Not tonight, I'm not." Her body froze. The man's hand dropped instantly, his face draining of color. My wife, Melissa, stood there, speechless, her lips parting as her mind scrambled for a lie that would make this all go away. "John, this isn't." "Save it," I said, my voice calm but shaking from the storm boiling inside. "You might want to tell your friend to leave before I forget I'm a decent man." The man looked at me, stammering, "I'm sorry, man. I didn't know." I laughed bitterly. "Didn't know she was married? You came into my house at 2 a.m., whispering about how I wouldn't notice. You knew." He turned and bolted without another word. Melissa just stood there, tears forming, but I didn't move. I couldn't. The air between us was thick, suffocating. "John, please," she said finally, stepping forward. "It wasn't what it looked like." "Then tell me," I said quietly. "What was it?" She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Silence. "I thought so," I said. "You should pack a bag." Her tears spilled over. "John, please don't do this. It was just a mistake. I've been so lonely, and you've been distant." I took a slow breath, my hands trembling. "Lonely? You had someone who worked 12-hour shifts to pay off the house, someone who came home to cook dinner and still asked about your day. You didn't want love, Melissa. You wanted excitement." She cried harder. "It didn't mean anything." I looked her straight in the eyes. "Then why does it hurt so much?" She fell silent again. I turned and walked past her into the bedroom. She followed, begging, pleading, trying to touch my arm, but I pulled away. I opened the closet, grabbed her suitcase, and placed it on the bed. "John, please. Don't do this. We can fix it." I shook my head. "You can't fix something that died at 2 a.m. She broke down completely then, falling to her knees, sobbing. But I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I just watched her fall apart under the weight of her own choices. The next morning, she was gone. For days, the house felt too quiet. Her perfume still lingered in the hall. I threw away the sheets, washed everything twice, but I couldn't wash away the memory. The whispers. The man's voice. The lie. Weeks passed before she tried to reach out again. Calls, messages, even a letter left in the mailbox. I ignored them all. Until one day, she showed up at my workplace. She looked thinner, paler, tired. "John," she said softly, "please. I've lost everything. I just want you back." I stared at her, remembering every sleepless night, every fake smile she gave me before heading out with coworkers. I said quietly, "You didn't lose me, Melissa. You gave me away to the version of yourself that thought betrayal was freedom." Her eyes filled with tears again. "I made a mistake." "Yeah," I said. And I finally stopped making mine. She looked like she wanted to say more, but I walked past her without another word. Months later, I heard she'd been fired from her job. Apparently, that same man, her co-worker, had started seeing someone else at the office. When his wife found out, he dragged Melissa into the mess to save himself. Karma doesn't always come fast, but it never forgets its way home. I didn't celebrate her downfall. I didn't hate her either. Hate takes energy, and she'd already taken enough of mine. Sometimes, at night, when the house feels too quiet, I still think of that whisper. He won't notice. And every time, I smile faintly and think, you were wrong. I did notice. And that's the reason I'm finally free.